What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. I'm your host, Daniel Greer, and with me today is Robbie Hockey, who we do have some hockey still happening. We're going to get into all of what's going on around there. Plus, there's been some coaching changes, some potential coaching hires, and another coaching change that could happen within the NBA, as we'll get into all of that right off the bat with our guy Robbie. But as always, we have our plays, and it is March Madness still, even though we're in April. We'll hit on the championship game tonight. That is going to be the UConn Huskies going against the Michigan Wolverines. And so it should be a really good matchup. And in all honesty, we didn't see that great of games on Saturday, but tonight, I expect a really good game, and we'll get into our predictions on who wins, who covers, and then the over and the under. And as always, we give you something to end the show. It sometimes is like the lamp. Well, today is Daily Dinger. Maybe we can talk Robbie into seeing if he has anybody that lights the lamp tonight. But let's go ahead and not waste no more time, and let's bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Robbie Hockey. What up, man?
What's up, DG? Yeah, it's a weird feeling dealing into baseball and hockey season. My ADHD brain just goes haywire when you see all the games between NHL and MLB. I'm like, I'll just stay in my lane till hockey's over. Let these batters get some games under their belts, and so you'll just see a lot of hockey for me. Every once in a while, you'll see some baseball, but I'm just going to keep it with hockey for now.
I feel you. Well, I'm dabbling in the baseball already because I see some guys that are just priced too low and guys that are honestly hot. And within baseball, I love to play trends. I know it's not the thing to do all the time, but in baseball, I really leaned into it over the years and it's worked out for me. And so I have plays from the morning show of Coaching Company, which I was on this morning. I have two baseball plays. Those are both hit runs and RBI. So go check them out over there. Plus, if you're not going to, go to justthatsports.com and you can sign up now. If you haven't already had an account, my plays are there if you do. But you can sign up now. Use the code DATA100 because, it'll save you 15 or 50% off, which then I believe it's $15 total. So $750-ish. Robbie, I think your plays alone are worth that, right?
Yeah, especially middleweight through the hockey season. I taper off towards the end because it's like NBA right now. It's crazy when you try to do player props. Who's motivated, who's not. But yeah, I still try to get at least 4 up a day.
I feel you. Well, we do have some kind of breaking news-ish, and this isn't about coaching. This is more about a player in the WNBA. I don't know if you saw this. Angel Reese is being traded from Chicago and sent to the Atlanta Dream. How do you feel about that? Is she still going to give us the me bounds?
Oh, 100%. That's all she knows how to do is miss layups and get her own rebounds. And then she got dealt for 2 first-round picks as well, I
Yes.
believe is what I read. And then what the Dream got put out in the first round of the playoffs last year to the Indiana Fever. So I think, you got her and Caitlin Clark battling out in the playoffs. That'll at least get the ratings back up, at least for the WNBA. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, and Mark will have his WNBA model rocking and rolling for sure. But let's get to the coaching. There's 3 coaching things we want to hit on. The first one, it just got announced by Shams Charania, who potentially they're saying it is looking like the UNC Tar Heels men's basketball team is going to go out and hire Michael Malone, formerly of the Denver Nuggets. What does that say to you? Because you getting let go of coaching Nikola Jokic to now going back to college and taking on one of the more prestigious schools, one of the more prestigious brands. Is this a good get for UNC?
I believe so, because Malone was with them when they won the championship, right? With Jokic.
Correct.
He was the coach when they won. So, yeah, I think it's a good get. It's not like Bill Belichick-ish. You're not getting any baggage, no side chicks coming with him. And you got a guy who's got a great, pretty solid NBA experience. And it's North Carolina. They've been okay, but they haven't been where they were like in the early 2000s. So, yeah, I think it'd be a great get. I know Billy D was questioned about it, but he said he's not taking any interviews till after the season's over. So that would be interesting too if he came back to college. And like your Duke Blue Devils or your team in college, the Carolina Tar Heels are mine, aside from the Florida Gators, of course.
Well, I will say that this is a good coaching hire. I don't know how Michael Malone will be within the new NIL parameters. But in all honesty, I think at UNC it sells itself. You should be able to get the pick of the litter. It's all about how do you send out the right funds, and I think managing a roster shouldn't be that tough. Especially not managing the egos. I think Michael Malone will be able to handle that. I hate it, honestly, because it just makes North Carolina good. Like this whole time, Hubert Davis has sucked so bad at North Carolina that I felt great every time Duke played North Carolina because I knew they would suck as long as Hubert Davis was there. Maybe not some more. This isn't good. But let's go to the ice. And we had a late switch of coaches. The New York Islanders out with Patrick Roy, and then now they're bringing in somebody else as they go to the playoffs. So, what's happened there in New York?
I don't know. Vegas, dealt their coach last week with like 8 games to go, and you thought that was crazy. And then the Islanders said, hold my beer. We're getting rid of Roy and bringing in Pete DeBoer, who was going to be a head coach that was going to get talked about a lot, I thought, in the offseason by a number of teams. But the Islanders are 1 point out of that second wild card spot. They're one right behind Ottawa, a team I think that they could very well pass if they get things going. They have a really nice roster. It's a young roster. Matthew Schaefer, rookie defenseman. He's been awesome this year. Ilya Sorokin has been kind of up and down, but still a really good goaltender. But offensively, they've got to get more work on the offense. There's only really 2 guys, Barzal and I can't even think of the other guy's name right now. But anyway, I think it's a good hire. And I don't really hate this late in the season. It wasn't working with Roy. It clearly wasn't. They played some terrible hockey over the weekend. So maybe you get a guy who's been to the Western Conference Finals, the last 3 years, coming in there, can actually push them over this hump and get the team rejuvenated as they make a playoff push.
Well, Nate G calls it a mega move at bringing in a coach. And then Joe's asking it, has DeBoer coached every NHL team?
Feels like it. he's been around the block.
For sure. And speaking of being around the block, we have Doc Rivers, who is going to go into the Hall of Fame. But also, every time hearing his voice now, it just seems really weird. And I brought this up to you right before we started the show, and you're like, hold on, wait, he's still in Milwaukee coaching? Yes, he's still there. But the reports are that they will move on from Doc Rivers after the season is over. And honestly, there's probably like 4 or 5 games left. He's just there trying to lose at this point. But Doc Rivers, it has been reported that he will be sent out. And then the newest reports from Mark Stein is that the former Grizzlies coach, Taylor Jenkins, who was actually there in Milwaukee as an assistant, is rumored to be the head candidate, or I guess the ideal coach that they look to hire in the offseason, which would be a good get. I think a lot of Taylor Jenkins, and I think he will do a really good job for a guy like Giannis. But any thoughts on this? Because Doc Rivers has been there, just been in the NBA a while, but also took over this Milwaukee team and just never did anything.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Is Giannis still going to be there? Because I know they didn't want him to finish the rest of the year. I know he was potentially going to get traded. So is this going to be Jenkins walking into a full rebuild, or are they still going to have their staple in Giannis to hold things down, and they're actually going to retool instead of rebuild? That would be my biggest question, because I know they were upset because Giannis, unlike most NBA players, is like, no, I'm not sitting out the rest of the year. I'm going to play, which honestly made me respect Giannis even more, because you just don't see that as much in the NBA anymore. So that would be my biggest thing. Is he walking into a rebuild or a retool?
Yeah, and I think Taylor Jenkins would be good at either, whether it's a retool or complete rebuild. Taylor Jenkins is a development type coach. Maybe somebody that needs to a little bit more experience to get you to a championship level, but he is the guy who can build you to get there, whether or not he can take you there or not. I think he is honestly a really good coach, X's and O's. I just wish he would play his starters more, and maybe that's something that he'll learn. But either way, we will see. But let's not waste any more time. We have our plays. Let's go ahead and get to them right now. Before we get there, let's hear from our guy, Seabass.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassest Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett Blends comes in 3 flavors: original, hot, and no salt. That's going to turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Tonight, we have a huge matchup talking about hockey. You have Buffalo versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay currently leads Buffalo in their division. They're 2 points ahead of the Sabres. And tonight, I'm going Rasmus Dahlin. Like, I know you guys see this name a lot, but I love his 1+ assist because it's minus 105. Normally, this is around minus 120, minus 130. Tampa Bay's getting a lot of love in this one because of how good they're playing. Buffalo been a little bit down lately, but still a great team. I think tonight's game is going to actually mean a lot to both of these squads. If you're into betting the draw, I could see this one going into overtime as well. But Dahlin's been absolutely dominant against Tampa Bay. He has an assist in 9 of his last 10 against the Lightning. Keep wanting to say the Bucks, and I can't figure out why. But he has an assist in 9 of his last 10 games against Tampa Bay. These two teams do not like each other. The last game finished 8-7. That was about a month ago. There's nothing but fights, nothing but penalties. And if we get that again tonight, this is where Dahlin's going to come through on the power play. He is the QB1 for them on the power play. Tage Thompson, we've all talked about him a lot this season. I think he dishes one to Tage. Tage gets the goal, Dahlin gets the assist, and we cashed it at minus 105.
All right, I like it. We're going to go from the ice to the MLB here. We're going to go Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays. We're going to take him for over 1.5 walks here at minus 130. A little juicy for sure, but taking on the Cubs. Cubs have been very efficient at drawing walks, ranking 5th right now in the major leagues at drawing walks. And so I look at the opportunity here for McClanahan, who honestly gave up a lot of walks in his first outing. I believe he gave up 4. But looking at this, he's coming off trying to knock off some of the rust from having the Tommy John surgery. And so because of that, I think that he's still going to struggle. I think he wants to stay away from giving up, just maybe a fastball down the middle. So he's going to be picky where he's going to pinpoint these pitches. So because of that, I think that we can get 2, right? We don't need a lot. This isn't a 3 number. This is a 2 number. And so with the odds only being minus 130, I had to target this by itself instead of doing the 2+ walks parlay. It's just one guy, 2 walks. That's all we got. But those are our plays so far on the show. But let's go ahead and get into what everybody is going to be talking about tomorrow. And obviously tonight, everybody's going to be watching. I'll be coaching softball. Not happy about it. Not happy.
I'll be
happy that
coaching
I'm coaching
soccer.
Yeah, see, what are we doing? Do they not know there is a championship game going on? Stupid.
I don't know. And it's a Monday. I've always hated that this game is on a Monday. I don't put it on a Saturday. Let's stop messing around.
Right. Or you could put it on Sunday. What's happening on Sundays right now? Sunday, like at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Wouldn't that get more people to watch than Monday night?
Yes. I mean, even wrestling has gone to Saturdays now. So you don't even have a wrestling pay-per-view to deal with. You don't have Sunday night football, Sunday night baseball. It's early in the year. Nobody's really hopping on that bandwagon yet.
Right.
I think it would be perfect for a Sunday night. And yeah, Miss Kim's right. It starts at like 8 o'clock our time.
Right. It doesn't make sense, but we'll get into it. And we'll also get into what's going down in Augusta. And if you're not watching, and just a little bit on, I believe it will be Thursday and Friday. Yeah, because that's the days they play. The Chris Vernon show. He is from Memphis. He also does the Mismatch, which is I believe it's Ringer now. Either way, it's a big show. It's an NBA show, whatever. Chris Vernon, his show, they do the Masters update throughout the show. If you don't want to watch it, it's fine. You can also get the highlights of the Masters update. It's funny. It's comical. He has mascots in the back dancing. He's a rapper rapping the actual leaderboard and talking about it. So it's a good time. Go check it out. But it'll be on the Chris Vernon show Thursday and Friday as he gives a Masters update. But let's give out the game and what we're looking at tonight. It is a 6.5-point line right now in Michigan's favor. The over-under is 145.5. It was 144.5, so it's gone up a full number so far. But just looking at this game, just as a whole, not even the bets yet. Rob, what do you think about Michigan going up against UConn?
I hate that I have to be such a Michigan homer because I'm really not a huge Michigan fan either. But I am definitely not a Dan Hurley fan, and I don't want UConn to win another national championship, especially in the men's. And Michigan's been dominant. I think they've scored at least 90-plus points so far in this tournament. So I think they can do that again tonight against Dan Hurley.
Yeah, and I think this is what we're going to look at. Does the magic run out for UConn and the Huskies tonight? Because they surprised me when they beat Duke, which they shouldn't have been in that game, and Duke allowed them to claw back. And to the credit of UConn, they clawed back and kind of kept in that favor of wanting to get back closer and closer. They dominated Illinois, and I think that maybe that was a coaching deal, because I feel like in all aspects, Illinois was better just overall. But maybe when you have two teams that are very good at playing a certain style, and maybe UConn just, and Dan Hurley outcoached them. But I don't think he'll outcoach Dusty May tonight. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I think that I look at the coaching. I don't think there's a coaching, one way, an advantage one way or the other. So because of that, I look at Dusty May and the Michigan Wolverines be able to get the win. So do we both think that Michigan wins tonight?
I do.
Okay.
I'm full on Michigan to win. Yeah.
All right. So what about the spread? That spread's a lot. And I know you talked about 6.5, or it's 6.5, but like 90 points, I get that. But UConn isn't the team they're pretty good defensively. They're not going to completely run with you. Does that mean that we're able to look at this game and say, hey, 6.5? So getting 6 points is just way too much for UConn?
I'm going to take Michigan and the 6.5. I think they beat them by at least 6.5. So I think that's a big line, but I think Michigan is that good, and I think they'll cover it. I think Dan Hurley and his team have made great strides. I hate saying it, but, they've gotten themselves here. But I just think it ends tonight. I just think Michigan's too dominant.
Miss Kim says she's taking UConn with the points and the under, and I know she's picking UConn to win because she loves UConn. Scotty's saying Michigan first half -3.5.
There you go.
That's actually not too crazy of an idea, is to maybe just target the first half because you're getting 4. But in all honesty, I like the end, but maybe you're looking at halftime, making some adjustments, and they come back and ends up closing in differently. I don't know. But is Michigan in the Frozen Four too?
They are. Now, that is – college hockey is not my strong suit. It's not something I follow a lot. I think they're in it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Penn State is still in it too, Nate. And with Gavin McKenna, that's who I wanted Nashville to tank for and have a shot at. But it looks like we're not going to do that. We're going to be dumb and make the playoffs potentially. So I think it's Penn State, and I know Michigan's in there. I'm not sure of the other two teams.
That's cool though. That's awesome. They're having multiple sports in a championship or just heading that direction right now. So pretty cool. Well, I am the same way, and this is going to be very boring. I just don't believe in this UConn team. I don't know how they keep winning. And I know that's like going to go right directly to the eyes of Miss Kim, but like, I just don't understand. They're not that good. They don't have enough pieces that is, in all honesty, good. Like, they have a few guys that can shoot. Reed is their big that's down low. He's going to have a lot of issues tonight with the size of Michigan. And that's where I look at is the size of Michigan will completely just put it on UConn. I could see this being a 15-point win. Like, in all honesty, a 15-point win by Michigan. But let's get to I think the over, the under is the biggest thing, because the 144, 145.5, where it's at now, like, that's a big number. You're talking about you need to get at least both teams close, if not in the 70s, to be able to clear that. And so what are your thoughts on the over-under?
I'm looking at the over simply because, and I think JB Ellis, the new guys at Justice Stat Sports, I read his write-up on this game. And when he said they've scored 90-plus points in every game, I'm like, okay, well, this is Michigan. And I remember them at the beginning of the year being dominant and scoring a ton of points. So I think Michigan does their part. And I think UConn can probably do enough to maybe match this total, not match 90, but I think they could at least put up 70. So I'm going with the over. I lean the over, but basically because of Michigan, not as much UConn.
Yeah, and let me read that Brian Ellis write-up, and I won't give out the play, but this is the write-up explaining a little bit about some points. It says Michigan scored 90 in every NCAA tournament game. To get even better for the Final Four, they even practiced at Michigan Stadium to prepare for the depth perception issues at Lucas Oil Field. So the sight lines won't be an excuse. UConn can defend, sure, but this number assumes Michigan cools off. So I'm just looking at this number and seeing, what the projections are. I just see it being an over 2. And I know that means that we've agreed on everything, and means that like the opposite will happen. Opposite will happen for sure.
Yeah, some Twitter troll is going to watch this and come tell us how dumb we are tomorrow. So I'm ready for that.
For sure. But when I look at this, I just see that there's going to be points. And so I think that there has to be 146 points is kind of where we're at. And that's where, I'm looking at the models and what they're showing. I just think that there has to be a way that we get to a 78-70 game, 77-70 game still covers everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. So Joe says that Michigan is one of the best teams I've ever seen. They're playing the best that I've ever seen as well. And so because of that, I agree. But Boogie says first half under, second half over. Which could
think they start slow and then picking it up as the game goes on. Yeah. And I mean, I could even put that with Scotty's play with Michigan -3.5. As we saw with UConn and Duke was handling them the first half. It wasn't until that second half that they really started surging. So you might find a way to put both of those together.
Yeah. All right. Well, I believe we see a better game tonight, hopefully, because those last 2 games this Saturday were just were gross. They were not something that I enjoyed watching. And honestly, I didn't end up watching them that much because I was on vacation, 1, but 2, they weren't entertaining. There is no entertainment value because me trying to get my family to watch that was just, no, we're not watching it because it's boring. And so if I'm not going to get them to buy in to watch it, then I'm probably not watching it at that point, especially while on vacation. But the Frozen 4 update, Michigan, Denver, North Dakota, and Wisconsin.
So Penn State didn't make it. I don't care if Penn State didn't make it. Gavin McKenna is going to be one of those young players that you'll probably see a lot of my bets on next year. He's very much like Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini. He's one of those guys that's going to make a statement, I think, as soon as he hits the league.
All right. And does this scare you at all? Michigan is 1-6 in championship games. UConn is 6-1.
No, and it goes back to what Joe said. It's because of how well they're playing this season. I think you can throw all that out the window. I just think they're really, really good. Kind of like Indiana football. When were they ever in a national championship game? But you see them under Signetti as a totally different Indiana team. I think the same with Michigan tonight.
Yeah, and I think this applies to UConn. Dan Hurley, he's won 2 of the last 3, and then now this year he has potential to win 3 out of the last 4. So I think that goes into the 6-1. But the 1-6 in the championship games for Michigan doesn't mean anything to me. Dusty May wasn't there. None of these dudes were there. And so because of that, I think Jim Harbaugh was at the school before the last time they actually were in the championship game. And so because of that, I don't see any reason that applies to Michigan. UConn, I agree. I give them some love toward that. But you know what? I'm not going to give any more time to that because it better not suck. And I have to talk about it again tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get to the Daily Dinger. And Mark's not here. I think he's probably flying through the air somewhere, somehow. And so we had to change up some stuff. And so I apologize. If you like the graphic, let me know so I can tell Mark. But if you don't like it, keep your opinion to yourself. But we have a Daily Dinger here. And so let's go ahead and look at who are 3 guys that we could target today. So we're looking at Kyle Schwarber, who is at +300. Dominic Canzone, I believe his name is +520. And then Vinny Pasquantino, +506, which is a random number. But any one of these 3 guys that you like tonight, or would you like to go off the board?
No, I'll stick to the board. I really like Vinny Pasquantino tonight. He is 8 of 14 against Tanner Beebe. He has 2 home runs. Even if you don't want to bet his home run, this is a great prop for like hits, runs, and RBIs and total bases, given his history. But yeah, give me Vinny Pasquantino as my pick tonight for the Daily Dinger.
All right. Well, I've already done a Daily Dinger video, and I stayed at Coors Field because why not? Because if you have a game there, Coors Field. And so go check out the video. But the 3 guys I liked were Yordan Alvarez, Mickey Moniak, and then I believe it was Christian Walker. Yep. And so it was just Easter, right, Robbie? So Christian, the day after Easter.
Exactly. I got a little chuckle out of that during the video. And he's been on fire. I think he has a home run in 2 straight games right now, too. So
He
it's not a
does.
bad pick.
And I literally didn't even plan that. And so it just popped in my head as I was talking. Some things, it just comes out the right way. All right, well.
See, that's my Vinny thing. Vinny has not had a
Okay.
home run yet. So there's dingers that are due. And I think Vinny is one that's due. And Dominic has a nice matchup too, but Vinny slightly edged him out tonight.
All right, well, I'm going to look at the other guy, the plus 300 Schwarbaum. Who is he taking on tonight?
Oh, gosh. I have to pull it back
It's
up.
the late game.
It is.
Right?
It's the Giants, but the weather is not bad there. The wind's blowing out 9 miles per hour, so you're getting about 60-degree temps as well. Because I looked at Schwarber, but I saw the Giants, and they're playing in San Francisco, and that kind of always scares me.
It does look like it's blowing out a little ways, but Adrian Hauser, I believe he has a very good no, he's 2 for 9 with no home runs against Adrian Hauser.
So you're saying he's due.
So you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, he hasn't had a home run in 2 games, so it's time. But I figured I'm not going to sit here and do it myself, so I figured I'd bring over Mr. Predicto to help me because it is Monday. And so, all right, Mr. Predicto, we're going to go for a Schwarbaum tonight. So could you help me out? Is Kyle Schwarber going yard tonight?
It is a certainty.
I always have to pause because I never know if he's going to get me. But
Yeah.
he said it is a certainty. Does that make you feel better about Schwarbaum?
For sure. Yeah, he didn't have to hesitate. He was right on the money with it. So I don't know how he's done with his daily dingers, though. Has he hit a daily dinger? I think he got Corey Seager that one day because he said Schwarber wouldn't hit a home run that day, and Schwarber did. So, okay.
Yeah, so we're okay on the daily dinger, which he has his daily dinger tomorrow, but we did a lamp. I think it was the light the lamp last time, and it was Cutter Goldchain again, and he lit the lamp. So
then he got hurt.
That's a given, but he did get hurt.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't see far past that. After he saw him score, it was like, I'm over. But I figured out we only have one other name. Should we ask about Dom?
Yeah, ask about Dom.
All right, let's ask about Dom here. All right, Mr. Brigito, don't fall for me. Is Dominic Canzone?
Canzoni. I feel like it's an Italian thing. Yeah.
Like Pascantino. Dominic Canzoni hitting a bomb for us today. Do it. Did I turn it off? No, he's on. Do you not want to talk to it?
Cannot be predicted.
Wow. That's just taking just saying, you know what, I'm not going to do it. All right, so I should have stuck with Kyle Schwarber there because he said the outcome cannot be predicted. So be careful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Canzoni hits Jacob deGrom's pitches really well. deGrom does a 4-seam and slider almost all the time, like 30%. So you got that going for you. He's allowed 12 home runs combined off of those. Canzoni smashes the 4-seam. He has 3 home runs off of it. Woba's .340, Sluggins .469, all good numbers. And he hits the slider. Well, that's just 4 home runs on the slider. So even if he gets a slider or a fastball, that thing could be gone tonight. And he has 2 home runs so far this season. So I really like Canzoni tonight. And again, if you don't want to bet his home run, total bases, hits, runs, and RBIs, I bet those numbers aren't bad for him.
No, and I bet they'll be good. And we can even, as we get more into baseball season, we get away from the headlines, get away from NCAA March Madness. I think we need to do a game of the day or a couple game of the days and honestly just dig through them and see what we're looking at. I know on Thursdays we do have TV timeout, but we might have some time on those days for one game, digging through one game and seeing what we're looking at because we don't do a daily dinger on the show. So that
we are a betting show at the end of the day. So.
Exactly. And maybe honestly but people love the TV timeout. That's
I know. 100%. But if you got some day baseball.
Yeah, the day baseball is the issue. Is if that's on, we have to talk about day baseball. So that's the plan going forward. If anybody's aware of how MLB season works for us, if there's day baseball, we're going to hit on the live stuff. If there's not, we're going to dig into a game or two moving forward and seeing how we can break it down and see if we can maybe turn over some rocks and do it all together. So a lot of times we do use Doink, which is a little sports research website, but that's the direction we'll kind of go. But we do have Miss Kim giving us somebody, Andrew Benintendi for the White Sox.
Sounds like another Italian name.
Yeah, we should have just went Italian today. But I don't know anything about Benintendi except for she says he's at home. Looks like the wind is blowing out right center field.
Have the Orioles selected their pitcher yet? Because
Brandon Young, it says.
Brandon Young. Let me see if I can pull him up.
Let me make sure. That's what it says.
Because when I was looking earlier, they did not have a pitcher listed. And this app I'm using still doesn't have any of his numbers listed. Let's go to Benintendi.
On the ESPN app, it has Brandon Young as well. It doesn't have any stats for him, though, on the season. So it must be his first start.
I think it's his first start. So I'm going to stay away from that because I like having some data to back up my plays. I know Colson Montgomery finally came through this weekend. He was a guy I liked a lot last week. He finally got a home run this weekend. So
yeah, predictor didn't like him. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
See. All right, well, that's going to be all we have today. Thank you for watching us. Make sure you check out our daily Dinger video. We're going to have those up Monday through Friday, as well as some Play of the Day videos. We'll have those up as well throughout the weeks as we give the free content out. So we're trying to put up more stuff. Plus the weekend, we had Boom Boom giving us his plays, which was nice to have that out there. And so we'll try to give out some stuff over the weekend as well at times when we can. We try to give me, Robbie, and Mark days off. That way we can lock in for the week because we are Weekday Wagers. But we'll have a weekend crew hopefully helping out here and there, just giving out some plays to keep the content rolling for everybody that's been a part of this. So we can't thank y'all enough. But that's all we got. It is a Monday. It is National Championship game. Me and Robbie agree on everything, which is not good for the Michigan Wolverines, but we'll see how that all plays out. But enjoy the game, and thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow.